Hi, everybody. I hope that you've got a block or a paperback book at the ready. We're going to have a block party today using the prop in all sorts of postures to really try and get the feeling of core engagement, doing the posture with the block, taking it away. So having your block or book between the thighs to start with, come into Tadasana, and let's have a think about what do we need to do in order to engage the core? Which muscles do we need to work? So if we give that block a little squeeze, we're using our glutes, those buttocks working. All around the hips, you'll probably feel the thighs firm up. So those thighs are squeezing the block. Drawing up the muscles of the tummy. So like you were doing up the button on the top of your trousers, drawing that in and up, and all around the side waist and back, the transverse abdominals, draw them into the spine, like that corset supporting it. Okay, pelvic floor, lift the muscles from hip to hip, from pubic bone to tailbone, up and in. And we always forget the erector spinae muscles. Okay, lifting the chest, rolling the shoulders back, drawing the crown of the head up to the sky. That's all using those back muscles. And we should feel nice and supported here. So have a moment, pressing down into the feet, lifting up through the crown of the head. Squeeze that block now. Squeeze it as hard as you can, 100% effort. Squeeze, 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 and then ease off. Ease off to about 50%, so there's still quite a lot of work going on. Should still feel the muscles contracted around the pelvis, hips, tummy, back. Take the block away. Okay, placing that down and come back to Tadasana. And let's try and find that same level of engagement. Okay, imagine the block is still there. Squeezing everything. You're probably going to get about 30% effort. And when we start moving, that's going to drop down a little more. So we want the idea today that we're using these core muscles all of the time in all of our postures. Okay, with that in mind, bring your hands to your heart and we'll start our first movements. So inhale here, lifting the chest to the thumbs, link the fingers together, exhale, push the palms away, bend the knees a little, drop the head round the spine. On the inhale, push up through the feet, take the hands up to the sky, and on the exhale, let the hands come down again. Sweep them round in a big circle, coming back to the heart space. How is that core doing? Have you already forgotten about the engagement? Inhale here, lift the heart to the thumbs. Exhale, push the palms away, bend the knees, round the back, head drops down, and then push up through the legs, through the torso, lifting the tummy, lifting the gaze if you want to. Exhaling, nice big circle. And this time the hands can come onto the hips. We'll take some side bends here. Inhale, just the left hand is going to lift up. Find that length in the side body, over we come. Exhaling gently at first. Inhale and rise up a little. Exhale, maybe a little more. One more time. Coming into your fullest side bend. Remembering we're only at the beginning of the practice. Lovely. Lifting up. Exhaling the hand down. Ready for the other side. Inhale. Lifting the hand. Finding that length in the side of the waist. Keeping it. Opening it up. First one is gentle. Second one we work a little more. Letting this hip sway out to the side. And the third one, we see if we can find a little bit more stretch in the side body. Good stuff. Bring the hands down to the hips. And then we're going to have a look at forward bending with our block. So using a block, placing it back between the thighs, looking at how we bend forward and how we come up. So you know your backs better than I do. If anyone's got back issues, then be particularly careful and you rise up in the way that's right for you. Bring your hands to your heart, get that core engagement, so a little squeeze of the block. Inhale, take the hands out and up. And on the exhale, let's keep a flat back and fold halfway so the arms can come out to the side or to the hips, your choice. We're folding halfway down. At this stage, maybe the legs are still straight, maybe they need to bend a little. Taking a breath here with a flat spine, reaching through the crown of the head and back through the hips. So sensing how this feels in the body. We're going to try and keep the length in the back as we bow forward again. Let the knees soften before the back rounds. So nice big inhale. Exhale slowly, folding forward, thinking, can I keep that length in the spine? Arms coming down. Let the knees bend and see if you can go a little further with a straight back, and then let the head drop. The back will round at the end of the forward fold. Okay, we're going to come up to a half forward fold a couple of times. So inhale, hands come to the shins, lengthen out as you lift the heart so that it's parallel to the floor. Nice long spine, and then exhale, forward fold, coming down. Good, one more time like that. So inhale, straight back, bend the knees a little to find that straight back if you want to. And exhale into the forward fold. Seeing how much your legs want to straighten, to feel a stretch in the hamstrings and the calves, but not so that it's painful. This time we're going to come all the way back. We'll do it half and half. So bend the knees, press into the feet, and see if you can start lifting the head, thinking, can I extend the spine? Get it nice and straight. Then lifting the heart, coming up halfway. Maybe the hands come to the thighs. If you want to, they can come to the hips, or you can take them out like an aeroplane to the sides. So in this half forward bend, we're going to take a nice big inhale, exhale. And then keeping that chin tucked, back as straight as feels okay for you. Bend the knees and start pushing through the legs to lift up. With all that core engagement, hands can float up if that feels okay for you, or they can stay on the hips or down by your side, and bring them back to the heart to finish. Bring the hands down by the sides. Okay, if that felt okay on your back and we were concentrating on that core engagement to support the spine, we're going to try it without the block. If you know it's better for you to roll up, that's absolutely fine. For some people, rolling up the spine is harder work and can be more painful than keeping a flatter back. So you decide what works for you and stick with that in classes. So bring the hands to the heart. Inhale, let's reach up, core engagement. Remember, we'll come halfway to start with, so the hands can come to the hips or float out to the side. Pausing halfway, re-establishing the firmness in the thighs, the lift of the pelvic floor, the support all around the pelvis and the lumbar spine. Nice big inhale before you can continue your journey, folding down, letting the knees fold if you can before the back starts rounding, and then coming into your fullest forward fold, head down, hips up, and breathe there. A couple of little pulses, maybe bending the knees on the inhale and straightening the legs on the exhale. Thinking about how you want to come up. Okay, the feet can be hip width apart for more stability, more of a challenge to bring them closer together. Let's press down through the feet. If you're happy, start floating the head and chest up, maybe the arms out to the side, thinking length in the spine, otherwise you're rolling up. Inhaling all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. And take a moment here just to feel into your body, seeing how that feels, seeing if that feels different to how we normally rise up and down. What's going on in the lumbar area? That's the part that can take the strain if we don't rise up using the power of the legs and the core muscles. So is that better than normal, different to normal, same? And observing what you might like to do in the future. We're now going to come down to the floor and stay there. So inhale, hands go up. Exhale, folding all the way down. And stepping back, coming to kneeling in tabletop position. Placing the block between the thighs. Today we're going to do cat-cow with the block there. So your knees are going to be a little bit closer probably than they usually are. You could try turning the block or book on its side if that's comfortable to have it there, but we want to be able to squeeze the block in this position. You're welcome to come to forearms instead if you want to. So press the mat away from you, spread those fingers, arms directly under the shoulders and the knees directly under the hips, long spine, inhale there. On the exhale, start tucking the tailbone under, rounding the back, dropping the head. On the inhale, the hips tilt forward, the tummy drops towards the floor, but it doesn't relax all those muscles, heart and head lift. So keeping the core engagement, moving through your cat and your cow movements, seeing how it feels to really be conscious of that support all around the hips and the lumbar area. When you're ready, you can take the block away, have a couple more cat-cows, seeing if you can keep that same sense of engagement, okay? It's harder when you haven't got a block to squeeze into. But consciously thinking, am I keeping the core engaged? Does this feel different to how it usually does? And bring it to stillness. Ease yourself back to child pose and bring your block with you today. You can place your forehead onto the block, either onto the wide side of it or the narrow side. And if it feels nice, you can rock the forehead and the brow over the block to give yourself a little massage. This is really nice to do. If you've ever got a pressure headache, it can relieve those symptoms. So seeing if you like that, you're welcome to do that anytime we come into child today. Pressing yourself up to sitting. Bring your feet in front of you, soles of the feet together, and have a little flutter. In our bound angle pose, flutter the knees like a butterfly, warming up those hips, ready to stretch the legs out. Okay, so again, we want the block nearby so we can grab it in a sec. Let's take the legs out as wide as is comfortable for you today, flexing the toes. If the knees need to bend a little bit, fine, let them bend. And take the block in your hand. We're going to bring the right foot in. So foot comes into the leg, and we want to turn over that bent knee. This is going to mean that we're bending sideways and not forward over the leg. Inhale, lift the arms up, lift the block up high so that the arms are in line with ears. Exhale, come to the side. So we're taking the block towards the toes, the arm down towards the straight leg. Push down into the bent knee, push that down into the ground and feel if that increases the stretch down the right side of the body. Breathe here. Maybe on the exhale, you come into the side stretch a little deeper. Maybe you come out of it. Roll that top shoulder back. If it rolls forward, come up a little bit. see for the last breath if you can get even deeper into the stretch and rise up. Inhale, core work, remember to bring you up. Good. And come down to center. Let's take that leg out again. So as wide as you can, so you feel a little bit of work in the thighs, but not screaming agony. And then bring the left foot in. And we'll set ourselves up for this side. So deliberately turning over that left knee. Get your block ready and inhale, lifting the block up. When you feel you're nice and in line, exhale, over we go to the side. And again, noticing, observing, does this posture feel any different to the first time we did it a few weeks ago? Okay, so we're not looking to touch our toes with the top hand or get the ear down to the floor or anything crazy in particular. We're just looking to see if we're getting this extra opening happening in the body. Spinning the heart to the sky, remember. Seeing with every exhale if we can come a little deeper into the stretch. Make the breath work for you. Remember these core muscles now. As we inhale, we're going to come up. Lovely. And bring the block down. Good stuff. So release and relax those muscles just for a moment. And we're going to take our legs out in front of us for our forward fold. Seated forward bend now. So the same principle applies as when we were standing. I'm going to try and keep that tummy engaged, especially when we lift it up again. Use the core muscles to help that movement. Toes are pointing up to the sky. We lift the arms up on an inhale. And we hinge forward on the exhale. You'll feel when the back wants to round, when those leg muscles start pulling, bend the knees, carry on the movement. And let's do a wave a couple of times. So bring the hands back towards the hips and inhale up again. Finding that length in the side waist, trying to keep it as we bow forward. Maybe feeling that the body allows a little more movement each time. Bow forwards, this time keeping yourself down. The hands resting alongside the legs or even on the legs, whatever is more comfortable for you. And let's work here. Bending the knees, lift the head a little and feel how that release of the hamstrings lets you extend the spine. And then bow down again, trying to straighten the legs. Inhale, bending the knees. So it doesn't matter if the legs don't come completely straight. We're doing our best to give them a stretch out on the exhale and then releasing again on the inhale. Make this your final bow. Nice big exhale, bowing down towards the legs and then engaging all the core muscles. Start lifting your hands. Collect the head, rising up, and exhale the hands down by the side. Good stuff. Right, come onto your backs and bring your block with you. You can have a little hug of the knees if that feels nice. Do that as much as you want to this class. And let's have the block next to you by your side, but we're going to work without it to start with. Feet on the floor. We're going to do some leg raises, one leg at a time and then both legs. Okay, so first of all, take your right knee over your chest and draw in to the chest so that you're pressing your back into the floor. Get that feeling of support from the ground. We're going to use our core muscles to try and keep the back in that position. If it arches up, then we're going to adapt and adjust. So bring the hands now down to the hips, elbows on the floor. Inhale in this position with the knee bent. And then take the leg out so that the leg is at a 90-degree angle. So exhaling so that the shin now is parallel with the floor. Next inhale is going to take the sole of the foot up to the sky. Push through the heel. Nice stretch out as best you can, keeping the legs straight now. As we exhale, here comes the work. We're taking the leg down towards the floor. So the foot's coming down about halfway. You might want to bend the knee. Don't let it go into the lower back. And take the foot back down to the floor and the knee back over the chest. Pause here. So let's try that again. We inhale here, knee over chest. We exhale, taking the leg into a 90-degree angle. Flex those toes. Inhale, push the heel up to the sky. Straight leg as best you can, keeping that straight leg and lowering down. When you get to sort of 45 degrees, you decide whether you can go a little bit further. Some people can go all the way down to the floor, no problem. And then bring the foot back to the floor so that the knees are bent. And we'll do that all on the other side. So hopefully this is going okay for you, and the back and the tummy feel okay. We'll see what happens when we do both legs in a minute. Let's squeeze that left leg into the chest. And think, I'm going to anchor my back as best you can onto the floor. And then take the hands onto the hips. Inhale with the knee over the chest. Exhale, take the leg out, 90-degree angle, shin parallel to the floor, foot flex. Inhale, lift the sole of the foot towards the sky. Exhale, start lowering that leg down towards the floor. One side might feel easier or different to the other. Bending the knee if you want to. Bring the foot back along the floor and then take the knee over the chest. Inhale. Exhale. 90-degree angle, foot flex. Inhale. Sole of the foot pushing up towards the sky. Exhale, slowly lowering the leg. Okay, so hopefully that doesn't feel too bad, but you'll see why we've done that nice and slowly when we bring both legs together. First of all, do it with your block. So grab the block, squeeze the block between the thighs. And as best you can, bring the knees over your chest. You might need to adjust the position of the block a little to allow you to do this. Hands come down onto the hips. Inhale here. Exhale, take the legs out to that 90-degree angle. See if you can still keep that contact with the block, squeezing it in as best you can. Inhale, feet go up to the sky, push through the heels. And here we go. Here's the hard work. Exhale, legs coming down slowly. Bringing them to 45-degree angle. Check in with the tummy. Pushing the back still into the ground. You might want to bend the knees. You might be able to go a little bit further. Letting the feet come down to the floor. And let's do that again. Inhale, the knees come over the chest. Exhale, the legs go out so that they're at a 90-degree angle. Toes flex. Inhale, soles of the feet up to the sky. Engage all the core muscles. Draw everything into the spine as you exhale and start lowering, lowering, lowering. Working slowly, you might really feel a little bit trembling in the belly, maybe in the thighs. Watch that lower back. As soon as that starts arching and aching, bend the knees. Bring the feet to the floor. Take the block out. We've got to do it one more time without the block. Here we go. Inhale, knees over the chest. Exhale, shins parallel with the floor. Inhale, feet up to the sky. Imagine you've still got the block as you start exhaling and lowering those legs, working those core muscles. Keep the breath going and relax. Let the feet come to the floor. Give the knees a good hug. Have a rock and roll. Whatever you want to do to let those tummy muscles, thigh muscles. Release and relax. Hard work. Well done, everybody. We're going to stretch out with bridge pose next, but let's use the block for our first couple of lifts because it's really nice to keep the knees together. What often happens in bridge pose is you lift the hips and the knees drop out to the side. So if we've got a block in between the thighs, we can't do that. So hands down beside the hips, palms face down on the mat. Walk the heels up towards the hips as best you can and then flatten the feet on the floor. Keep the jaw and the neck nice and relaxed. Press down into the feet as you inhale, roll up the spine, lift those hips up. Feel a nice opening in the front of the body, stretching out the muscles we've just used, and then slowly rolling down. Back down the spine, trying to let the hips be the last thing to come down to the floor. Once more with the block, pushing into the feet, lifting the hips up, rolling up the spine, really lifting the chest, using those back muscles at the top of the inhale, and then all the way back down. Feel the thighs, the glutes, controlling this movement. When you get down to the floor, take the block away. Let's try the same without the block. Pushing down into the feet, lift the hips, keep those knees parallel, pointing up to the sky as you roll up. And then controlled roll back down. Exhaling, using those core muscles to control the descent. And then feeling the delicious release and let go as everything reaches the floor. Well done. Your choice now. You can roll over onto your side and press yourself up to sitting, or you can cross your ankles, grab hold of big toes and flip yourself up. And come all the way over to kneeling. And we're going to look at our balancing table that we've looked at before. So just to fire up those muscles, keep them going. We're going to bring hands under shoulders, or you can be on your forearms. Knees under hips, but let them be a little bit closer. It helps with the balance. We're going to take the right foot back behind us, toes flexed, crown of the head reaching away from that back heel. Inhale there. Exhale, bring the knee underneath, look towards the knee, let the spine round, and then take the foot back again. This time you can lift the left hand if you want to. So opposite hand and foot, inhale, stretching out. Exhale, bringing everything into the center, really squeezing in those core muscles. One more time. Inhale, opening out. Exhale, knee comes under chest. Back rounds, look towards that knee and rest hand and knee down. Get ready for the other side. Take that right foot out, left foot out this time, and get balanced first of all. Flexing the toes. Nice big inhale, and then exhale, draw the knee underneath, look towards it. Feel a squeeze around the tummy and the sides of the waist. And then you can keep working with the leg alone or lift the right hand out as well. Drawing the elbow and the knee under into the center. Rounding the back and then flattening it out again as you inhale. Rounding, drawing everything in on the exhale. And coming back down to all fours. Now have your block ready. We're going to come down and do cobra with the block. So lying on your tummy, if you can put your book or block between your thighs so that you've got something to press against, something to concentrate those muscles into doing some work. Hands either under the shoulders, ready for cobra, or if cobra is not good for your back, try coming onto your forearms for Sphinx. So head down to start with, press into the tops of the feet, let the thighs press down into the mat and especially engage the front of the tummy. That keeps the lumbar area more relaxed. So really using those abdominals at the front of the body to squeeze the tummy muscles, and that makes the back stay more relaxed. On the inhale, you're going to lift the heart. Look forward as you rise up. Shoulders roll down and back. And then exhale down to the floor. Okay, press the thighs into the floor, a little bit of engagement, squeezing the block as you rise up, trying to use those top back muscles, the upper back, not the lower back. You can take the block away now, keep the movement going, seeing how this feels. Do you feel any stronger lifting up than maybe you have in previous times? Really using the legs to anchor you onto the floor and these erector spinae muscles to lift the heart forward. Lovely. And then you can come up one more time, pushing yourself into kneeling. Resting back to child pose if you want to, or staying in kneeling. Ready for downward facing dog. We're not going to use the block for this bit. If you don't like down dog, you can stay in a tabletop position, and we're going to do our little twists, our little twisting squats. So this is when we take the hips from side to side. So we're either coming to kneeling in the middle or to down dog in the middle. And let's see how your down dog feels today. Hands a little bit forward of the shoulders, spread into the fingers. Tuck the toes, inhale. Exhale, lift the hips up into the air. And you can pedal through the heels a little bit. Find your down dog. Take a nice breath in and out. On your next inhale, you're going to take the hips over to the right, bend the knees and come into that twisting squat. You're either then coming forward onto your knees or back up to down dog. Exhale. Next inhale, hips go to the left. Let the feet turn, little twisting squat. Exhale, either to down dog or to kneeling. Keep this going. So we're coming over to one side, feeling the twist in the obliques and the side, and then either down dog or kneeling in between, and lifting the hips, pushing them the other side, and back through to the middle. One more time on each side. Good. Deliberately working slowly to make you feel the engagement of these muscles. When you're next in the center, you can start walking your feet forward, coming into a forward fold. Feet either together or hip width apart. Let the head hang down, let the arms hang down, and think about how you're going to rise up. Okay, remembering which muscles help support the back. Then the knees press into the feet. Rise up how you choose. Come up to standing and bring the hands to the heart. Come into Tadasana, have a couple of breaths. Good. Now, as we've got blocks today, we're going to do our balances using the blocks. You know your body and how your balance is, so you are welcome to come to the wall or do these exercises on the floor, okay? If you want to give it a go with the block, have the block between your feet. And we're going to, first of all, balance on our left leg. So you want to stand, put the foot on the block, and if it's too long, it's better to have the toes overhanging at the front. Make sure the heel is nice and safe and secure, and give it a little go. So these blocks are deliberately squidgy, so it's going to make those leg muscles work more than usual. If you change your mind and you want to start from the floor, absolutely fine, but you'll need to lift the hip up. Anyone dangling on their block, keep the hips level. Hands can come to the hips. Find a focus, a drishti, We're going to breathe in this up position and breathe out, taking the right foot down to the floor, not quite resting on the floor, just brushing the floor. Push into the standing leg and let the muscles of the leg lift you up on the inhale. Exhale, foot coming down to the floor. So you can bend the standing leg to allow that. One more time, nice and strong. And this time when the foot comes down to the floor, let it settle on the floor. Taking a break there. Next, we're going to take the foot out to the side. So we're using the glutes to abduct the leg outwards. If you want to come onto the block, rising up, and the inhale is going to take the leg out. Feel that muscle work. Exhale, back down again. One more time. See if you can go a little higher. Good. Really firing up that glute. Lovely. And bring it down again. Come onto the ground and swap over. So if you're on the block, setting up the foot and rising up. If you're on the floor, just hoiking up that left hip, ready to start. So our rises, first of all, inhaling as you are. Exhale, foot comes down towards the ground. Just let it brush, but not take the weight. Lift it up again. Inhale. Exhale. Letting the standing knee bend if it needs to just let the foot brush the ground and then push down into that standing leg. Good. One more time. Exhaling. Inhaling. Let the foot come back down to the floor. Okay, ready to do our abductions. If you're standing on the block, hips stay level. And then inhale, taking the leg out to the side. Good, trying to stay upright rather than curving the body. Coming down again. Inhale out, seeing if you can lift it a little higher. Good, squeeze that bum, good. And coming back down again. Right, just because we've got the block, if you want to, you can do tree pose on the block today, okay? Strong on the legs, it will make those muscles work. If you think that is not for you, absolutely fine, very sensible. You stay on the ground, but if you want to give it a go, the left foot standing on the block, toes can be on the floor till you get your balance, get your focus, choose whether the hands are going to be at the heart or down by your side. Little micro bend in the standing leg, and then when you're ready, lifting the foot onto the leg and breathe. Feel the work that goes on in that leg to keep you steady. Good. Try 2 or 3 breaths like this, really good. Then if you want to, you can step off the block and come back into tree pose on the floor and notice how that feels. It probably feels steadier than it usually does. So this is good training for the muscles, working out what they need to do to hold you in tree pose. Can you take 2 more nice deep breaths? Just check you're still breathing, not holding that breath. And let it be an exhale where the foot comes back down to the floor and you step off your block if you're on it. Maybe the leg aches a little bit more than it usually does in tree pose. Let's even it up then. Give the other leg a chance. If you want to try it on the block, rising up, getting those hips level. Core muscles help with this posture. When you're ready, taking the foot onto the leg. Good. Remember, the leg pushes back into the sole of the foot and that rises you up. Have the hands in the position that works for you, works for your balance. And if you want to come back onto the floor now and try your tree pose, you can. If you want to stay on the block for a few more breaths, up to you. Really good work, everyone. I know this is hard on the muscles. It's really good training for them. Take a nice deep breath to finish. And bring the foot down to the floor. Just stand there and notice for a moment how the leg muscles respond to that. Maybe there's even more of a release than usual coming back down onto 2 feet. Good, right, move your block away. Let's just have it on the left, the top of your mat on the left, ready for using in a moment. And then turn to your left and take a nice big stride, ready for our warriors. And we want to turn the right toes to the front of the mat, adjust the back foot as you need to. And on an inhale, float the hands up to shoulder height. Look down the right hand, exhale, bend the knee, come into warrior 2. Keep that tummy zipped up. Press firmly through the legs, feel the thighs firm. And breathe here. Good. Take another inhale. Then on the exhale, that right arm comes down to the thigh for our side angle. Top hand goes to the hip to start with. Let's roll that shoulder back and find the energetic line of energy in the body. And then if you want to, you can reach for your block, and instead of resting the arm on the thigh, see how it feels to push the hand into the block. So you're using the floor, pushing away. Depending on the length of your arm and the flexibility in your hips, you might be able to come down onto a lower version of the block. Some people touch their fingertips to the floor in this position. Notice if that makes your top shoulder roll forward. You can always lift up again. And if you want to, for the last couple of breaths, lift the arm. So that top arm can come up. It can even go over the head if you want to. Seeing if the block helps, remembering it. If it does, you're welcome to use it in other classes. Big inhale to finish. Exhale, look towards the front foot. Frame the foot with the hands, turn the back foot to the front and drop the back knee. So we're coming into a low lunge. We want the block at the ready. We're going to take a twisted lunge here. So again, knowing your spine, you don't have to twist all the way around. See what's right for you. Bring your left hand onto the block, your right hand onto your hip. Option here to stay on the knee, or to lift the back knee up for a more challenging balance. Front knee stays over the ankle, whatever. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, start twisting the tummy towards the bent knee. So we're turning towards the bent leg. Again, that top shoulder wants to roll back as best you can. Use the hand to push into the block. If you're lifting that back knee, be nice and strong, pushing through the heel. And then decide if you want to lift the top hand up or keep it on the hip. Breathe into the power, the work that's going on. Nice big inhale to finish. Exhale, drops the knee down, brings the hands back to the floor, and take that front foot back and release back into child pose. Bring your block with you if you want to. You can rest your forehead on it. You can have a little massage, or you might want to bring the head down to the mat. Good. Scan through the body and see how these postures are working different muscles. Remembering that we've got the whole of the other side now to go. So we're going to lift up to kneeling. And you can either work your way to forward fold in your own way, or tuck the toes under inhale. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Start walking the feet slowly towards the hands, coming into forward fold. Place that block to the right of your mat. I'm going to put mine there ready. And remember how we come up. So engaging all those muscles that we should use. Press down into the feet. Inhale, lifting all the way up. Hands come back to the heart on the exhale. Coming into Tadasana for 2 full breaths. And then turning to the right. Nice big stride. See if you can go a little wider than you have done before. Just see how that feels in your warrior. Turn the left toes to the top of the mat. Adjust the back heel, so take it back a little if that's comfortable. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, bend the front knee. Look down that front arm. How does that feel in the thighs? Check the front knee is still over the ankle. Can always shuffle the back foot further back or a little bit in if you prefer. And feel the strength of zipping up the front of those abdominals, squeezing the thighs together. Feel powerful. Inhale here, then exhale, bend the left elbow, take the left forearm down to the thigh and work into your comfortable side angle posture. Okay, so establish yourself as best you can with this diagonal line of energy all through the body. And then if you want to reach for the block, if that helped last time, maybe just for the hell of it, as we've got it, feeling how it is. And if you want to, lifting the top hand up. Good stuff. Finish on a big inhale and then exhale, hands come down to the floor, turn the back foot, drop the back knee down. Lovely. Ready for our twist. So the right hand is placed on that block. We want the block next to the ankle. The left hand comes to the hip and we take a nice big inhale to really lengthen the spine before we twist. Turning towards the bent knee. Your choice to stay down on that back knee or lift into a higher lunge. Roll the top shoulder back, and then depending how the twist feels for you and your body today, you might want to lift that top. Keep the breath going. Inhale to finish. Exhale, come down to the floor. Take the front foot back and drop into child pose. Good stuff. And then pressing yourself back up to a seated position. We've got our favorite pose to finish off with, our boat pose, which today we're going to do with the block and then without it. Get 2 goes at it, lucky you. So bringing the block, placing it between the thighs in a way that you can have the knees bent. Remember, if that's not right for you, if your coccyx is not going to like being balanced on, this can be done with the back on the floor, but lift the shoulder blades up, and that's going to ensure that the core muscles are doing their work. That's what we want to work in this posture. So hands can be on the floor or they can be holding the backs of the thighs. Inhale, lift the heart, really nice long back, try and keep it there. Exhale, rock back onto those sit bones. Squeeze the block, engage all those core muscles and explore boat pose. So you can take the hands away if you want to. You can bring the shins parallel to the floor if you want to. Feel the work in the muscles. You want to take this further into a hamstring stretch. You push through the balls of the feet, but don't lose this lift in the heart. Squeeze that block. Can you smile whilst you do this? Nice big breath to finish. And then exhale out. Feet come to the floor. Take the block away. Oh joy, you get to do it again, this time without the block. Okay, so taking a moment, setting yourself up. Hands on the floor or behind the thighs. Get that lift in the heart. It's really important for this posture. Nice straight spine. Big inhale. When you're ready, exhale into boat pose. And take it in stages, okay? Build it up. Now think about that block still being between the thighs. I want a power boat today. So working your core hard. Can you breathe slow and steady while you're here? Keeping the lift, the brightness in the posture. Working those thighs, those hips, all around the tummy and the side waist too. You're doing really well. Can you take a nice big breath to finish with? And then release and relax down to the floor, bringing with you anything that you might need for relaxation. I'm going to do a little twist before we come into our final posture. So get any extra socks, anything you want to cover you, or a blanket, and have the block ready. I'm going to do the twist and explore whether you might want to place it under your knees when we do the twist today. So just have it within reaching distance. Straighten yourself up in the middle of the mat. Feet are on the floor. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. And then we're going to shimmy the hips a little over to the left. Lift the knees up over the chest. Have the block on your right hand side if you want to use it. Inhale where you are. Exhale, take the knees and drop them over to the right hand side, placing the block either underneath the knees or between the knees. I'm seeing if that helps, if that makes this posture more comfortable. The arms can come out in a T shape. Shoulder height, palms up to the sky. Unless that's uncomfortable for you, find a place that works better. Maybe one hand rests on top of the knees and the other comes to the hip. We want the left shoulder to come down to the floor and the knees to drop to the right. You can turn your head in the opposite direction to the knees. Feel the twist all through the body. Nice deep breaths. The belly is free here, so you can let it relax. Breathe in, right down into that tummy, really feeling it swell on the inhale. And release and relax everything down to the ground on the exhale. Last long breath here. Next inhale, letting the knees float up to center, placing the block over on the left side ready. In case you want to use it, shimmy yourself back into the center of your mat. Set yourself up there before you go anywhere. And then you can take the hips a little to the left if that helps you with the twist. It's always a good idea. Take them to the right, sorry. Lift the knees over the chest. Inhale. As you exhale, drop the knees over to the left-hand side this time. Seeing if you can keep that right shoulder down on the floor or towards the floor. Taking the arms out in a T shape. Settling those knees into a position where you can comfortably stay in the twist. Turning the head in the opposite direction if you want to. Using the breath now, every exhale sinking you down into the floor. And close the eyes, come into the body. Notice where there's tightness and breathe the inhales into those spaces. On the exhale, invite them to let go. Couple more breaths. Next inhale, let the knees float back up towards the sky, placing the feet on the floor. Shimmy yourself back to the center of the mat and explore maybe taking the feet out wide and resting the knees together, or stretching the legs out long. And with the feet hip width apart, let the toes drop out to the sides, drop away from each other. Bring the hands closer to the body, not so that the arms are tight against the body, but there's a little bit of space, palms turned up to the sky, unless that's not right for you. And make yourself comfortable, ready for relaxation. Have a last wriggle and allow the eyes to close. Relaxing the jaw and the tongue and the shoulders. Let them melt back towards the floor. Make sure that all those core muscles we've been working so hard are fully relaxed now, down the spine, around the tummy, around the lumbar area, across the hips. Let the thighs be heavy and relaxed. The legs and the arms soft. Fingers gently curled, toes relaxed. Feel the skin on the face soften. And each exhale, invite the body to let go a little more. Feel yourself dropping back into the mat. Letting gravity take you down to be held by the earth. And I very much have noticed these last few weeks the transition of the weather and the energy, going from the brightness and the fullness of the end of summer coming into the autumn time. And I found this poem entitled September, which I'd like to read to you. This is an abridged version of September by Helen Hunt Jackson. The golden rod is yellow. The corn is turning brown. The trees in apple orchards with fruit are bending down. The sedges flaunt their harvest in every meadow nook, and asters by the brookside make asters in the brook. From dewy lanes at morning, the grapes' sweet odors rise. At noon, the roads all flutter with yellow butterflies. By all these lovely tokens, September days are here, with summer's best of weather and autumn's best of cheer. Breathing into that feeling that we've still got the occasional warm summer day, but that we're easing ourselves into autumn time, a time for letting go. Take a few nice deep inhales now. Breathing energy through the body, bringing little movements into the toes, into the fingers, maybe stretching limbs and having a yawn. Maybe take your hands up over the head. And if you like to, hug the knees into the chest. Rolling onto your side when you're ready to, resting there. And then slowly pressing yourself up to sitting. And we'll finish the session together with a couple of deep breaths and an Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bringing your hands to your heart. Nice big inhale as you take them out and up. And exhale, sigh it out. Bring the hands back to the heart. And again, energizing, rejuvenating, releasing and relaxing. And then joining with me, if you wish, inhaling up. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Right thought, right words, right intentions. Taking a bow to yourself and your practice today. Namaste.